Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It's either Reluctant Gringo back again with another video and another video game review. Well, I've had a chance to play MLB The Show 24 for a few days now. I got the early access, and I've not delved into the packs and the cards yet, or any of the other features. I wanted to get right to what mattered to me most, and that's the gameplay. And of course, that was all I really could do because the servers for MLB were having issues during the first few hours of early launch, something I think most of us just expected. Still frustrating, but expected. And maybe one day they'll get that part of their launch right and correct and okay for their consumers, but that's for another video. Now back to the game. So I fired up a classic game, 5 innings only, between my beloved Red Sox at Fenway against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Yes, I did set the difficulty to easy to start out with because I wanted to learn the controls before I tried to take on anything more challenging. I have to say, I was having a blast playing an afternoon game in June at Fenway Park. The ballpark itself looked great. My initial gameplay was smooth. Actually, it became very intuitive and easy for me to pick it up and understand the mechanics. Look, I like to be transparent with my audience. I'm not a professional gamer. I'm just a guy who likes video games. Always have and always will. Does not mean I'm any good at them. If this was a court of law, Exhibit A would be the fact that my nephews have defeated me in Injustice 2 about 150 times in a row. I think they let me win once because they felt sorry for me. So no, I'm not someone who could enter a tournament. Gaming is a hobby for me. It's a way to relax and have fun. Has been since Space Invaders and Missile Command in the early 80s. With that said, I had an easy time playing this game. The options, the rosters, the way each pitcher was well researched in terms of what pitches he uses and how he uses them, the hot zones for each batter's swing, John Sciambi and Chris Singleton are fun to listen to. Yeah, the dialogue can come off a bit stiff at times, but overall you feel like you're listening to a real game because there's a wide variety of conversation between the two. Hitting is a lot easier than defense, for me at least, and I think most of you who are not familiar with the game will find learning the defensive controls takes a bit more practice because there are more moving parts to turning a double play or fielding in general. It's not overwhelming by any stretch, but if you're not familiar with the mechanics, getting the right touch on each throw and reaction time is way more important in the field than at the plate. The details of the game even include talking about the umpires and how they prefer to call a game, such as certain umps calling more strikes down in the zone than up in the zone. And after a couple of games and a home run derby between Ohtani, Judge, Devers, and Yordan Alvarez, I explored the other options and immediately went to the road to the show and the now much maligned gender inclusion piece. So yes, like I said in an earlier video, you can choose to be a girl. You are not forced to be a girl. You are not guilt-tripped into being a girl. It's just an option for those of you out there that want to choose that. Most likely, those of you who are girls and love the game. So to everybody who freaked out over that can just relax. And to the girls out there, welcome to baseball. In comparison, I think to start off with things that made me a little disappointed were the graphics, the visuals, and particularly the faces, the expressions of the players. They're not as natural as I thought a game of this caliber would be. Even some of the still shots of the players as they come up to bat look a little off, like a wax figure that began to melt on one side, or sometimes just the opposite, like Rafael Devers looks like he's having an allergic reaction to a bee sting. Also, and some of you may find this strange, so I apologize if I sound weird, when one player shouted and opened his mouth, his teeth were not divided. It was just one U-shape of white. No lines, not individual teeth, it just looked strange. Now this is not for every player. Some of them actually look really good, but the ones you notice that are not quite right, you can really notice them. My other frustration from the first 2 days of playing was that some of the menu screens are so jam-packed with info and options, which is a good thing, were not intuitive. I know I keep using that word, but think about it. Most smartphones and tablets and even computers are easy to use right out of the box because they are intuitive. So I look for the same intuitive nature in my video games. But I guess as I continue to play and use those menus, they'll become easier to navigate. Maybe it's the choice of font, maybe the color scheme, and maybe it's just my failing eyesight, but definitely it was a drawback for me. Overall, my first impression of just being able to play a baseball game and have some fun, yeah, it was a blast. I had a ton of fun, and I will begin diving into the other features and options in the next few days, especially the road to the show and storylines. So I am glad I purchased this game. It's one that I see myself playing throughout the season, and I hope your experience with the game is just as positive as mine. So tell me what you think. Did you buy the game? Did you enjoy the game? Were you disappointed by the game? Are there things missing you wish they had put in? Let me know in the comment section below. With that, I am still your Reluctant Gringo, and from south of the border, salute, and a huevo, and play ball.